All right. Well, good. Well, thanks for taking the time to meet with us today. My name is Kat Catrola. I'm with RemanResource.com. Like you said, some of you know about Easy Order and use the system, and then some have it but don't use it necessarily as much as you could. And so today we're going to talk about, for people who've never seen it before, we're going to go through the system and kind of refresh you, even the people who are using it, on some of the features that it has. And then we'll also talk to the people who have the system, but their customers aren't acclimated to using it, and how you can get your customers to start getting to use the system. And for the person that was just using it for quotes, you're really missing out on half of what the software can do for you. So we'll talk about that as well. Okay, so I'll get started. Everybody can see the screen well. Can you read everything well on the screen?
Yeah.
Cool. Before I get going with like the nuts and bolts of Easy Order, it's really important for you guys to understand kind of where the idea for Easy Order came from and how it came about and why it's effective. And so 12 years ago, we've been around for 12 years and been helping people, sell more ink and toner for that long. So the system's really stood the test of time. But it didn't start off as a successful ordering system. It started off as an idea. My father is a serial entrepreneur. He's been in business for himself for over 30 years. He's a pharmacist. And my marketing background was marketing advertising. I was working at some of the bigger marketing firms here in Austin, Texas. That's where we're at. And he decided that he was going to add inkjet refills to his pharmacy. He had 30 years of customers coming in to refill the prescriptions. Why not refill the ink cartridges too? So he got some equipment, learned how to do it, and then started doing that in his business. I was kind of at the top of my field for what I could be doing. I've done a lot of work, and I was a little burnt out on the industry of marketing and graphic design. And he said, "Hey, if you come over here and help me run this business, you can make of it whatever you can, and then it'll be yours." And I said, "Okay." So I came over to his business. We did ink, and then we learned to do toner eventually because our customers all had toner. Literally built the business from the ground up. And so it's important for you guys to know that I've been in the industry, and I've built toner cartridges. I've refilled inkjet cartridges. I've gone out and cold called and sold to the same types of customers that you're going after. And so we're not just software guys that sell software to you and just say, don't care about you and say, hey, let's just, sell you software. We're people who came up from the ink and toner industry. And so we're really here to help share some of the stuff that we've learned, not only through our own business, but after we sold that business, the other 10 years of feedback that we've gotten from our hundreds and hundreds of subscribers, and what they go through on a daily basis and the challenges that they face in their business. And we listen to all that, and we put it into the software. So we try to make it as easy for you guys to use and give you all the features that you need to really market to your customers. And so when we first started this, my dad told me, he said, "Hey, I want a website, to sell to our customers." Thought it was a good idea. Obviously, I was in marketing and did websites and stuff. And, he just said, "But I want it to be different because everything out there was e-commerce. And even today, everything else out there is e-commerce. I mean, the stuff that you guys are competing against are big box stores, anybody else that sells toner with a website. And cartridges are commodities. I mean, you can really get a cartridge anywhere. There's no loyalty really to cartridges. You can buy it from almost anywhere, and they range in prices and quality and all that kind of stuff, as well as you guys know. And so what you really have to do as a company nowadays, with all this competition that's around you, is you have to do something that sets yourself apart from your competition and gives your customer something that they can't get anywhere else. And so that becomes the reason that they keep ordering from you, and that is one of the reasons they keep staying loyal to you, is because you offer a face, an expertise on printers and cartridges in your industry. And so when you come into somebody's business, you're an expert, and they're ordering from you because you're the expert and because you bring a lot of service to not only selling cartridges, but it makes their life easier. And so that's the process behind the Easy Order. Is we started with the customer in mind first, Every e-commerce website out there says, hey, come to my website, fill out all this information, put your products in that you want to order, put your payment in, put your shipping in, and then maybe after 20 minutes you can place an order if you're a first-time customer. And what we decided to do was do it completely backwards. Instead of making the customer find my website, log in, remember usernames and passwords, put all their stuff in, we said we wanted something that was customer service driven, something almost like a VIP service for your customers. And if you can come to your customer and say, hey, look, customer, give me your printer inventory. I'll go back. I'll create this customized online order form for you that only has the printers and cartridges that you have at your office. And then I'll send you a desktop icon, a little bookmark that you can put on your computer's desktop. And when you want to get back to your order form, all you have to do is click on that icon on your desktop. Don't have to remember my web address, my email, my rep's name, my phone number, username, password, anything. You just click on the icon, one click, it takes you to the order form, and you're done, and you place the order. And so that's how we started with the theory behind the Easy Order, is to make it VIP service for our customers. We call it, VIP for B2B, because your target customers are always going to be B2B customers. It works also for walk-ins and onesie-twosie, customers, but really you want to be using it for, bigger customers, and not just using it for bigger customers, using it to go get bigger customers because you can handle them in this way. So that's the kind of background of Easy Order and why it's different, because it does give you those tools to set you apart from your competition. Now let's get into the nuts and bolts of Easy Order, how it works, and then at the end I'll kind of respond to some of the people who aren't getting as much value or not using it as much, and how you can get your customers to use the system even though they're calling you and stuff like that. Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to do, this is the control panel for Easy Order. When you log in at CartridgeReorder.com with your username and password, you'll be presented with a page that looks just like this. So this is the control panel. It'll welcome you, and you can do kind of everything in Easy Order with all these buttons here. And the first thing you wanted to go to, if let's say we're going to get a new customer, set up a new customer, we go to Manage Customers. All your customers will be listed under here. You can see when they were created and how many order forms they have and all kinds of good stuff. And so all the action buttons up here, this is if you want to do anything in Easy Order, these are the buttons to do any actions. And we kind of, if you notice, we put little thought bubbles over like most things in the system. If you have a question about what something does, most likely you can hover over it and it'll tell you what that item does or what will happen if you click that. So just remember, action button's always up at the top, and then everything, if you don't know what something is, you can mouse over it. I'm going to create a new customer just for this sake of this demo. So I'm going to click on New, and that allows me to add a customer. And let's say this is going to be Texas CPA offices. Texas CPA offices. The first thing it's going to ask for is what's your store. You can have multiple stores. If you own multiple stores, you can choose which store the customer goes to. First thing it asks you is, do you want the Cartridge World branding on there? Yes, obviously we do. The next thing it asks you for is, do you want to lock prices on your customer's order form? Now, this is another thing that sets Easy Order apart from an e-commerce website. In an e-commerce website, you kind of live and die by that price you show online to the world, really. It's not to your customers, it's to the world. So people can shop you for your price. They can go, oh, what's Cartridge World doing? Go to your website and see a price. They know how much that you're charging your customers, and then they can use that against you. With Easy Order, each customer can have different pricing on their order forms depending on how much volume they do. So if they do high volume, you can give them a better deal, and the next customer is not going to know what this customer's pricing is. So another benefit of having Easy Order is that you have customized pricing for just that customer, and you can give deals that you don't have to give to everybody else. So if you, for example, if you bid for a school, or you tell a customer you're going to get this price and you promise a price, you can check yes, and that's going to lock the order form for special pricing, so that you can have special pricing on the order form. And then when you do updates, it's not going to affect that customer's price. So at this point, you can choose whether or not to do that. Everything else is pretty basic. Just leave it the same. Product prices changes affects all customers' order forms. This just means if you have a customer with a Q2612A on this order form and a Q2612A on another location's order form, you just change the price once, and since it's the same customer, it'll change it for both order forms. And then you just basically fill out their stuff. So accounting, and 123 Way Drive, Austin, Texas. That's where we at, 78660. Down here is a new feature that we added for the national sales account, and so you can actually assign sales reps at this point to the customer. If you have pre-existing sales reps in your account, you can just assign that to this customer, and then it'll start off with the sales rep assigned to them. Also, you can assign templates to a customer. So, for example, we have like a Why Buy a Printer program template that talks about the Why Buy a Printer program, and you can take that template and you can assign that to the customer as they start. So they'll automatically have that on their order form. But basically, this is all you want to do to create the customer. Now, when I'm talking Texas CPA offices, I want you to understand the difference between what a customer is and what a location is, because a customer is just a name and an address, but a location is a physical place that has machines at their office. They have, an address that's maybe different from corporate, and maybe Texas CPA offices have 30 offices around your area. And so when you set up Texas CPA offices, you're just setting up the basic customer name, and when you click Save, the first thing it does is take you to add a location for Texas CPA offices. So Easy Order has been a tremendous tool for getting business that you normally wouldn't be able to get. Maybe it's one of those things where you get into one location and they like what you do and your price, they refer you to another location, you start working with them. But Easy Order gives you the tool to come up to a customer like Texas CPA offices and just from the get-go say, you know what, I can handle all 30 of your locations. Let me set them up, let me get them going and get them ordering from us. And you can take it from a meeting with just one location about their needs to a meeting with the whole corporate office about all their locations. And so this is how you differentiate. If you only have a customer that only has the one location, notice we fill it out for you here, Texas CPA offices. So if they only had one office and that's all you're dealing with, you just leave that location filled in. If you were going to get different locations, you could actually set this up as, Austin, number, 238 or whatever, 345. And, excuse me, that's going to set this as a location for Texas CPA offices. So it's not going to assume that you have one office, you're setting up the first location for the Texas CPA offices. People get confused between the location name and what a customer name is. So I wanted to explain that just right from the get-go, that there's a customer and then that customer has multiple locations that it can have underneath it. And right now we're just setting up one of the locations. If you guys have any questions during this, feel free to stop me and say, hey, can you clarify that or anything like that. So if you have any questions, just let me know. At this point, I'm going to turn off this. I have this password generator thing that keeps trying to help me fill in passwords. I'm going to turn that off real quick so that I don't have it doing that. And there we go. Okay, cool. And yep. Okay. All right, so we'll go back to Austin, number whatever I said, 345. At this point, you create a login for them. This is something that you will create for them, but they will probably never use it or see it. So I'll go Tex CPA as my login, and then we generate a secure password for you so that you don't have to worry about passwords. Before we did this, people would just lazy the passwords and put password as the password, and so we generate the password for you so that it's still secure. I'm going to put my name in here as the customer. Whatever phone number you want. And then the next thing it asks for is the order frequency email reminder. Now, remember I said this is not just a order intake system. This is a system, can I help you manage your business? And so with that, the system does things for you in the background that you don't have to keep up with. I mean, you have enough stuff to do with your running your business and marketing and keeping track of employees. Remembering when the customer ordered last is not usually the highest on the totem pole of what you're trying to remember. And so with Easy Order, you can say, hey, I want to know every 90 days if the customer doesn't order, I want a notification, and so that I can check on that customer. I remember when I had my business, I would go, you know what? I'd maybe see Texas CPA's name come across in an old invoice. I go, you know what? I haven't heard from them in 6 months, and I haven't checked on them. And so I'd go check on them, and they said, oh, well, somebody else came in, and we started ordering from them. And I lost the customer, and so if I didn't have a way to track this stuff, things would get lost. And so what this does is gives you a way to keep the system tracking the customer so that you don't have to. When you get the notification that this customer hasn't ordered, then it's time to fire them off an email. Hey, I noticed you haven't ordered in a while. Is there anything I can do for you? Just checking in on you. Thanks. And so it keeps you in front of your customers. It keeps them forefront in your mind. And again, let the system do the work for you. You don't have to remember all this. You can let the system keep track of all that. The next thing is ask for, do you have a sales account? If you have different sales reps, you can set them up in Easy Order. You can also set them up to, be tagged to a customer. So if this was, Betty's account, you could tag Betty, and then as she starts working this customer, getting them to order, you can run a report and see how much she's been doing for the month, and then pay commission accordingly. And we have reports for that as well. So you can assign sales reps to the accounts. One interesting point is a lot of people are getting IT people who do a lot of IT. They'll get them, because IT people hate doing printer cartridge sales and printer maintenance and stuff like that. They may do some of it, and they may outsource some of it. But a lot of people that are using Easy Order are starting to recruit IT people all across the country to sell for them. So basically, give me your list of customers and their printers, and I will set these order forms up, send them out. I'll talk to the customer. I'll sell your cartridges. I'll service the printers. I'll do all that stuff that you don't want to do, and I'll just cut you a straight commission. And most likely these IT guys they're inside the company. They're not, they get you past the gatekeeper because they're talking to the guy that hires the IT person to come do stuff. So you can say, hey, this Cartridge World is now handling all my ink and toners. They'll be in touch with you to service you. And that's a great way to use sales accounts to broaden your horizons as far as marketing, get other people selling for you, and then paying them a commission based off what they sell. And then they don't have to touch it. They don't have to worry about it. But they're making extra income, and you're getting much more income from sales. The next thing, tax rate, you can have, zero tax rate. Tax rate is per customer per order form. So if it's a school or a government, building, you can do 0. Otherwise, it'll default to your basic default tax rate that is set up in the system. If you want to give an extra discount over your normal discounted price, you can use these fields. Not a lot of people do it, but if it's maybe it's a church or one of your family members, you can give an extra, let's say 10% off Reman cartridges. You just put that there, and then the order form will reflect that extra discount. Delivery and shipping, this is a really important one just because I feel like a lot of people deliver too much, and sometimes they deliver without getting paid for it. And you want to make sure your customer is at least ordering enough to warrant your free delivery, because you can't be delivering everything. You're not a delivery service. And so they need to be ordering enough stuff to qualify for free shipping. And so with the national business accounts, we just sat on this number, $75 minimum order for free shipping. And then if they don't, I'm sorry, I did that wrong. $7 for the shipping rate, and $75 is the free shipping minimum. So if they order $40 worth of stuff, it'll tack on a $7 delivery charge. It'll also remind them at checkout, hey, by the way, you get free shipping at $75. Are you sure you want to add another cartridge? And then they get a chance to add more, so that when they get their order, the free shipping is warranted because they've ordered enough product. POS user ID is just how you would track what this customer is in your point of sale, whether it be Malibu or Retail Pro. You have a customer number, and you can tie that customer into this customer as you do it. All these are pretty basic. You want to show the retail prices. You want to display prices to the customer, show the nickname, show cartridge yields. All that's good. Shipping is here. The shipping came from the corporate office that I set up. If that's the same as billing, you can click down there, or you can fill it out with the proper billing information and the proper shipping information. And that seemed like it took a while, but actually when you go through this and you're just creating a customer, it goes pretty quickly, and you can get done in just a minute or so on creating this part. Now, once you're done with this, you just click Save, and that's going to take you to add stuff to the order form for Texas CPA offices, so modify order form. And again, everything that you want to do is going to be up here in the action buttons. So nothing's here, so we're going to go ahead and add a new item to the order form. This is our cartridge finder. It's a complete database of everything from Brother to Xerox that has, we've literally built this from scratch, and we've been working on it for 12 years, and we work on it every day. I mean, there's not a day goes by that I don't get a request to add something new or something that we haven't gotten in there yet. And so, we have a lot of what's being sold in the market in here. If you ever find something that's new or something that's not in the system, you can always click this help icon and start a support ticket and say, hey, I'm looking for this. I don't see it in the system, and then we'll track it down and let you know whether we have it and you just couldn't find it, or we need to add it, and we'll add it for you. So when you select a product, there's 3 categories to select from: Reman, OEM, and Other, which is kind of considered compatible. And then you have a custom product area. You can sell things that are not cartridges to your people in Easy Order. So if you want to sell paper, or if it's the Why Buy a Printer program bundle, or whatever else you can use as a custom product. But right now we're going to use Reman. Most people just use Reman and OEM to signify aftermarket and brand new. And then if you're really, one of those sticklers about your data, you can use Other to signify compatible. So I'll go Reman, and then I'll select a manufacturer. Notice we don't put every manufacturer in here. We didn't want this list to be long and daunting and have things like, Copy Star or anything like that in there. If you need that kind of stuff, you can get it in there. But I mean, we wanted to keep our list of basically what's being sold prevalent in the market. So I select HP, and then I can either go by printer or by cartridge. It's better to get the printer, because if you go by cartridge, and you may only have that information, which is fine, and you can do that. But if you're setting up a printer that has, 4 cartridges and 4 drums and a maintenance kit and a, development kit, it could take you a while if you're doing it by cartridge one by one. So we try to get you to get their printers, and we do have a worksheet that I'll show you here in a minute that helps you get that information from your customers. So printers, and then here we have, I hate drop downs when I search for stuff, especially long model numbers. And so we have kind of a Google intuitive search where you just start typing stuff, and then it starts showing you what it finds. And so instead of typing like color laser jet, you may spell it differently or capitalize something differently than we do, and you may not get the same results as I do. So just type in the model number. That'll get you quickly to what you need to look at. It shows me the business inkjet 2600 and the color laserjet 2600. I'll go ahead and select the color laserjet. Notice when I select that, all the parts come up that are associated with it. So we have the black, we have the dual pack black, cyan, yellow, magenta, fuser unit, transfer rollers, and these are the Xerox branded cartridges that also go in this printer. So you just select what you want the customer to see. If you just want them to see the general standard pack, you just click that, click save. All the printer cartridges are here. And you have an opportunity to really personalize this to the customer, and the more you can personalize it, the better it is going to be for them as far as the experience goes. And so that worksheet that I told you about has a field that says who uses this printer, what make and model is it, and where is it in your office? Is it in the sales department, admin department, what department is it in? And so you can, you go here and go Sue's printer, and this is in the sales office. And as you look through the product, you can change a few things here. So the retail price, just to let you know, we get the retail price. We have a tool that we've built that goes out and scrapes Staples' website for their highest MSRP national retail price, and it's usually shown on Staples with like a strike through, and it's in gray because they're like, we don't sell it for that, but that's the highest price. And so that's where we get our retail prices from. And we used to only update the system quarterly, maybe every half a year we'd go and do a big update on pricing. But now since we built the scraper, you get weekly up-to-date retail pricing from Staples. So if this stuff changes, then it changes for you. And so you're going to know the most current retail pricing for your stuff. And we have things like, for example, if your price is higher than the retail price, we alert you to that, stuff like that. So you always know if we change the retail price, if something's different on your order form, you'll be able to change that and then follow up with it. Most of the time, these kind of stay the same, though. They don't fluctuate too much. Staples changed their price quite a lot of what they sell for, and then get really competitive on things like Brother. But that's up to you to change your price. But where the retail price is, that's where we get it from. If you see pricing in here when you see a system, it'll be 30% off of this price. So when you usually see this price as a default, it'll be 30% off this price. This one's been changed because you can see it's highlighted in blue. So that means the price has been globalized, meaning you've set this price before in your system. So we indicate to you that you have set this price before by showing it in blue with the G. Normally this would show up if you haven't priced anything in your system. It would just show up just like this, like white blank pricing. And then if you wanted to globalize it, you would check these boxes. And then when you saved it, you would be permanently saving this price in your system for these cartridges. So the next time you pull them up on a quote or on an order form, they would be these, your pricing would show up rather than the default price. Also notice as you click the checkbox, the gray boxes, are selectable now. So you can put in your cost for that cartridge if you want to. You can put in your SKU number that you refer to that product in your store. And so you can actually, really dial this in for your system. So when you're doing a quote, you know what your lowest cost is and how much you need to keep in margin. And then again, if you're doing SKUs, you can put your SKU in there, and so what you refer to it by. So when it comes in, you'll see your thing. A lot of people also will do like their own SKU, but with like the vendor code. So let's say you order this cartridge from Clover, and this is their order number. You could put Clover and then the number, and then when that comes through, and you're ordering these cartridges, you already have the numbers for it, for who you're going to order it from, where you're going to source it from, and what the model number is there, so you can quickly order that cartridge from whatever vendor you want. You don't have to do that, but that's what some people do. All right, once you finish with the item and everything looks good, I'm going to uncheck this so it doesn't globalize it. It's already globalized. And I'll click Save. So that saves the first item to the order form. And really, it doesn't take as long. I was explaining everything as I went, but it really doesn't take that long. Let's add another item. Reman HP printers, and I'll do this time 8600. And I'll do the OfficeJet Pro 8600 and the ink one. And so I'll do we have the chipped and non-chipped versions. I'll do the chipped ones. And then add that to the order form. And you can see, call this, back office copier. And we'll put that in the admin department. And again, this is how it looks like when it's not priced. This item has not been priced in the system before. This is kind of a default look. So you can go in here and you can change this and globalize it, and then you're setting the price again for that item in the system. But I won't do that right now. I'll just click Add. So now we have a decent, order form, 2 items on it. You can drag and drop these things around if you want to change the order. You can edit the item if you messed up on something and want to go back. You just click Edit. Or if you totally messed up and want to delete this, you can click Delete. If you're using the Why Buy a Printer program, which I highly suggest you do, it's a great way to lock in business and get that customer ingrained into your system. We do have a lease end date. Again, Easy Order is one of those things where it helps you do all the grunt work. So the more you give it to it, the more it's going to give back. And so this lease end date is a lease tracker. So if you got this printer to them today, you can say, okay, in 2 years, this lease is up. And you could set this, and you'll get a notification 30 days before this lease is up that you're going to have to renew the contract at the end. A lot of people, when they do a lease on a printer and then use the lease tracker, they'll go back in and put the serial number of the printer in there, so they know exactly what the serial number is and what machine they're talking about. So you can put the serial number in as well as having Seuss printer on there, and so that just helps you. Make sure that you're not having to watch spreadsheets for these lease dates ending and stuff like that. Going back to, giving as much to the system as you can to let it do the work for you. Easy Order will end up being kind of your best employee because it's never having boyfriend or girlfriend issues. It never calls in sick. It's open 24 hours for people to order from you. And so having this as a tool for your customers and for you, so, letting it help you take some of the burden off you of remembering to do all this stuff, it really will end up being kind of your best employee, your best tool. So once we have an order form created, and this is a good order form, all you do is send the welcome email to the customer. So you click Mail, and that goes out to the customer. I'm set up as the customer here. And so it says, greetings, Kat. Welcome to Easy Order. We've created an online order form tailored specifically to your needs, and we want them to click here to download their desktop icon. Also note that we have a video that shows you, if you click on this and watch it, it shows you from this email that you're looking at right here, how to do what I'm about to do, which is download the desktop icon, install it, and then have it on my desktop, and then how to order. So we used to make you kind of explain this to the customer, but now we put this YouTube video in there, so it walks them through this whole process. All you have to tell them is, watch this video that's in the welcome email, and then click on your download icon link, and that's all you really need to do, because this video will explain exactly what we're about to go through. And so if I'm the customer, I want to click on my desktop icon link. I do want to show you guys something though. As admins, you need to know that there will be times where a customer has just really high security on their IT department. Maybe they have it and it's in a hospital and they're not allowed to download anything to the computers. And that's not a big deal because you have a traditional login. So this is your landing page link that, if the customer clicks on this, this is where they can log in to your system. And then we do give them their username and password. So they can traditionally click on this and log in if they can't use the icon, but 99% of people can. But there is a way to get in manually if you need to. But what we want to do is click on the download your desktop icon link. That takes them to this page. And you can see we're already logged in as Texas CPA when we click on that link. So we're already logged into the system. And then we want them to obviously click on this large desktop icon button right here. And what that does is it's going to take a desktop icon and it's going to save it. And I'm choosing to save it to my desktop, and I'll click save. And while that's downloading, I'll also show you something else. This is the installed desktop icon. The installed desktop icon is going to put the Cartridge World brand on your icon. So instead of looking like Internet Explorer, it's going to look like your Cartridge World brand icon, the big yellow icon. And the only reason we have to install any software is to get that graphic onto that button. Otherwise, it's just like a bookmark, it's just like a hyperlink, and it's really, there's nothing that can harm the customer's computer. So you just need to know this as somebody who's ministering Easy Order, that there's nothing that can harm the computer that can scan it with a virus scanner. It's just basically a bookmark with a skin on it that has the Cartridge World logo. Notice that there's two versions of the icon. This one says don't want to or can't install any software on your computer, although this is very unintrusive, blah, blah, blah. Here's just a bookmark. So you can click on this and do the same thing, and it'll save a similar icon to their desktop, but this one will be just like a bookmark. It won't look like the Cartridge World brand, but it does the same thing. It logs them in. And so let me show you why this is important. So I'm going to go here and go back to my desktop, and here's the Cartridge World order form installer right here, and then this is the bookmark one that I just did. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the installer, and as a Windows PC, this will always pop up because we're not a registered developer with Microsoft. We're an unknown publisher. We're a smaller company, and so every PC will do this. You just click run anyway, and then it's going to say, do you want to install something on your computer? That you say yes, and then you click install and close, and then actually at the moment of saving that icon, it logs you into your order form. So here we are at the Texas CPA offices. It logged me in. But let me show you what just happened. You can get rid of the installer file. You can just delete it. And so now you have this Cartridge World, and it'll say your Cartridge World name down here. You have this icon on your desktop, and it kind of stands out. I have another one over here, but it kind of stands out from all the other icons. It's definitely the Cartridge World brand. And when the customer needs anything, you have a much different relationship with your customer now that you have this icon on their desktop than you ever would have had before. So think about your relationships with your customers that don't have this. They have to keep your business card around. They have to keep your phone number around. They have to keep an email from you somewhere that they'll have to search for when they need to find you. If they do call you, they have to call you. You have to spend time taking their order. And so with this, you are now connected to the customer in a way you couldn't ever be connected before. You could come into a company and say, hey, could I pay to have my icon on all your desktops so that you can order from me? And the company would say, no, of course not. There's not enough marketing budget in the world to get people to put something on their personal computer's desktop that has your brand on it. But with Easy Order, they do it for nothing. They do it for free because they're interested in what this is, and they're interested in ordering online. And believe me, the person who's ordering cartridges, it's not probably their only job. And when they have to do it, they want to do it and get it done and go on about their business. And so if you can make this process easy for the person, I mean, think about the person calling in right now to you. They have to get probably a list, and then write down printers and which cartridges are needed, and then take that list and write it all down, and then call you and then communicate that list to you in order to make an order. And that's just a big hassle for anybody who's trying to order cartridges. The other thing is the human issue. I mean, they could tell you the wrong model number and they're off by one number, and you're sending them the yellow cartridge instead of the magenta. And obviously that's going to end up being your fault, because even though they told you the wrong number, you sent the right cartridge, and that's not the one they meant. And so where the customer's always going to be right, you're going to have to eat that cartridge and make it right. And so what Easy Order does is it eliminates all those problems from somebody ordering cartridges. They don't have to keep a list together. They don't have to figure out what they have. They don't have to remember model numbers. They don't have to remember your phone number. They don't have to remember usernames and passwords. All they have to do is click on their icon, and you see it instantly logs them into the order form. They look at what they have. They know that Sue's printer needs a full set, and that we need a black one for the copier. That's all they have to know. And they don't even have to remember these numbers. All they have to know is it's Sue's printer, full set, black one for the copier. They didn't even look at this. They're looking at this information and this information. So all they have to do is review the order. Looks good. We always tell them how much they're going to save on their order, just kind of like the grocery store. That reinforces the fact that you guys are saving them money. And then they just click submit order. So literally in 3 clicks, the customer's gone from installing the icon, and when they need to order, they just have 3 clicks and they're done. And this is the easiest way to order cartridges out there. We've designed it specifically to be the easiest way to order cartridges out there. And you guys having this over a big box store and their system, and other e-commerce websites and their systems, this is just way more convenient than anything. So you automatically become more convenient and more preferable for the person who's ordering cartridges, because you've just made their life so much easier. So the first thing I get when I order is this order confirmation email. This is what you guys will also get as people selling the cartridges. It'll have your brand here, and look how professional this looks. You're taking a customer who may be calling in, and you go, okay, I got your order, and there's no real confirmation of what you wrote down that gets sent back to them. But with Easy Order, it not only gets sent to you in a professional format, it gets sent back to the customer in a really professional format, and it looks like you have the system that's just taking care of everything. There's no miscommunication of what's been ordered. There's no way to know that they ordered the wrong thing, because it's all spelled out right here. We also have this really cool thing down here called delivery by department. A lot of times another problem that we face is that you get an order together, and they called you in with this order, and you did a sticky note, and you get their printers together, drop off a box, and they're like, okay, well, stuff just doesn't get back to where it needs to go. And so with delivery by department, it says right here, Sue's printer, sales department has a black, cyan, magenta, yellow. The back office copier and the admin section has 1 black. And so that makes it super easy for them to, you could print one of these out, stick it in their toner box, and then the toner gets back to where it needs to go. A lot of times toner will go missing from where it needs to go, and it's not back in the cabinet where it should have been, and that's because it didn't get delivered to where it needed to go. So with that delivery by department really helps that out. And so, having this, I talked to Bill Johns is in Seattle, and he said, Easy Order is the most professional front-facing part of his business, because you can quickly get these orders done. It's all professional. Quotes come out really professional looking and done quickly. And this just kind of shows the customer that you mean business, and you have a way to handle them that they're comfortable with. Especially larger customers like to see stuff like this. And so this is how you're going to get the order when you get an order. It's also going to be recorded in your Easy Order system. So when you go into it and you look at manage orders, they're all going to be there as well. Those manage order sections come in live. So they're, as soon as the order hits, it's in that section. Emails come to you 99% of the time, but I wouldn't rely 100% on the emails. just because that's one thing as a software developer I can't control. I can't control your email provider or when it's going to deliver an email to you or if it's going to deliver an email to you. So we always ask that you do check the system at least once or twice a day, but you will get, most of these order confirmations via email 99% of the time. But there's been the one or two times people have called me like, hey, where's this? And I'm like, well, looks like from the logs your email server was in maintenance and it didn't come to you. So that's why we tell you to check the order system. So that's the most important part of Easy Order, getting this icon on the customer's desktop. And let me also show you while we're here, this is the bookmark version that we downloaded. It works the same way. You just click run and it puts you right back onto the order form. The only difference is that this one looks like whatever web browser you're using, and this one has the Cartridge World brand icon. And obviously we want to get the branded icon on there because that's reinforcing your brand, and that's doing all the stuff that you need to do to get that customer connected to you. So any questions on this part? Because this is like the most important part of Easy Order and getting connected to the customer. Does it make sense so far? Quiet group? Okay. All right, so now that we talked about how the order is created and how we get that icon on the customer's desktop and how important that is to get the icon on the customer's desktop. Once when we first launched this, we did a market survey, research on these customers, and once they ordered one time to this desktop icon, they had a 90% chance they were going to order a second time, and then once they order 3 times, it's like 99.999% chance, unless something went wrong with an order or something that's not the system, maybe it's a quality issue or something else. They keep ordering this way because, again, you just made it so convenient to order from you. Okay, so now we talked about setting up customers, and obviously you can set up, customers with 1 location. You can set them up with 40 locations and handle them all through Easy Order. I just worked with a customer out of Cartridge World out of Florida who got into a national grocery chain. He had a couple locations, and then, by the end of a couple months, we got him into all 87 locations. And so, he just showed them like, hey, this is how it would take care of you, and set up kind of mock order forms for the 87 locations based off, basic info, and showed them this is how we can take care of you. And they were like, okay, let's do it. And so he got into all 87 locations. So again, having something like this helps you get those customers that are larger because you can handle those customers that are larger. Okay, the next thing is we started about, that's existing business, putting a customer in there. And by the way, you can also see this export and import feature. You can export your customer list, and that gives you kind of a template of how we import things in. And you can fill that spreadsheet out, and then you can import it back into the system, and you can import all your customers at once. I just helped somebody yesterday import from their point of sale system, import their 187 customers into the system. And what they're going to do is when the customer calls to order, they're going to go in and place, set that cartridge up on their order form, place the order for the customer, and then say, hey, by the way, did you know that, you can do this? Can I send you the welcome email? And then watch that video on how to download the icon, and when you did order next time, it's going to be right there for you. So that's one way you can get your customers that aren't using Easy Order. People say my customer likes to call in, my customer likes to email me, and honestly, they really don't. They just don't know that there's another way. They don't know how easy it is to do it the other way. And so a lot of times you, as the person using Easy Order, want to train your customers that this is the way we would like you to order from now on, so that when you see it, you really see that this is easier than what you're doing. And I know customers don't like to change their habits, but if you can show them that it's easier for them, a lot of times they'll do it. And a lot of times it takes multiple times. Order it for them, let that confirmation email go to them. They call you again. Hey, remember that confirmation email I sent you? Well, you can place this order online. Would you like me to show you how to do it? And then you try to get them to do it. And then once they do it, they're not going to call you again. And so that's one way you get customers who don't traditionally want to do anything different to start doing it, is by reminding them and doing it for them until they start doing it themselves. So that's a existing business, and we talked about how to import customers. Now we're going to talk about new business. So manage quotes is part of new business, and that's really an important part of any Cartridge World's job as an owner is to go out and sell. Again, I've been with the system for over 12 years, so I've seen it back when people were like, hey, this is a great retirement opportunity, and you just sit back in your store and people will just come and give you money and you'll make 40 or 50% margins. I remember the days of that. Well, it's not like that anymore. I used to say that people had the field of dreams mentality. It's like, if you build it, they will come. And, as everybody knows, the walk-in storefronts are going by the way of Amazon. And so you have to have something to, compete with that. And whether that be selling online or doing quotes in a professional way, you really have to be able to sell. And it's all about volume. And so the more quotes you put out there, quote ratio closing for Easy Order for just Cartridge World is at about 10%. And so that tells you how many quotes you got to put out there to get an established customer. And so you really have to pound the pavement, get quotes out there, and I would, again, target people. I have a whole series on our YouTube channel.
Hey, Kat?
Yes.
Good question.
Yes.
Do you have any software requirements, or can it be used on a Mac?
Yeah, absolutely. It can be used on a Mac. The only thing with the icon on the Mac is it's a little different. It won't be branded to Cartridge World if your customer is using a Mac. But if they're using a PC, obviously they'll install it like normal. But yeah, you can use, this is an online-based system, and so you can use it from, it's not installed on a computer anywhere. It's in the cloud. It's on the web, and so basically you can use it from any machine. Everybody can be logged into it at the same time. So let's say you're off in your office at home maybe, and your employees are at work and they're trying to put people in. You can all be on the system at the same time and from anywhere on any device. So whether it's your phone, we're right now optimizing the system for mobile. So very soon you're going to have a mobile optimized experience on your phone as well as tablets. So you can use it on everything.
Okay, nice.
Yep. And so what I was talking about when you are, and I have a whole webinar series on this, and I would definitely go to our YouTube channel and check it out. We do a weekly webinar, and on our weekly webinar, we go through lots of stuff. And it's not just Easy Order stuff. Like this one, we talk about LinkedIn marketing and how to use LinkedIn to target the right kind of customer. And instead of going around your local community and going to Bob, the t-shirt guy, and Joe, the embroidery person, and your local cleaners, and you can do all that. And it's great to sell local, but you can also use the power of the internet to go target customers who have large printing needs. So, I won't get into that on this training because that's a whole different thing. But y'all can come to my weekly webinar, and if you want to go through the LinkedIn thing, I can show you how you can really kind of track down the customers you want, send targeted messages to them, and how their response is much greater because it's not like email blasting. You're sending a LinkedIn message directly to them where they maybe get 2 or 3 of those a week. Rather than getting 300 emails. So again, I can show you more stuff, but this is not the training to do that. But anyway, go ahead.
How do we get to that, to all of those videos?
Yeah, you just go to youtube.com and just type in RemanResource. I can't type today. And here's us right here with the easier button. Staples has the easy button. We have the easier button. And so you just click on that. And these are all our videos right here. And you can see, we do one every week, and we kind of dig into different issues and how to market in different ways and what's working for people, what's not working for people. If we have a recent update like this one, we did the National Business Account update, we would have that information up there, so we go through update stuff. So all of that's on our YouTube channel. Our YouTube channel is our #1 training tool. We used to have one built into the control panel, but the videos got old, and these were much more fresh, and so we use YouTube now as our main channel for training. Okay, so talking back to quotes, I know I kind of got on a tangent with targeting the right customers, but I do feel that's really important. But when you do get a customer that gives you the opportunity to quote, it's very important that you get back to them quickly. I had a user the other day, a Cartridge World guy, and he told me, he goes, I run around all day and I get my stuff, and it takes me 3 or 4 days to respond to a quote. And I was like, well, no wonder that nobody's responding to your quotes, because that's way too long to respond to somebody's opportunity to quote. In fact, research says that the first person to respond in the quickest way will usually get the business. And they may forget who you are tomorrow. And so you need to respond as soon as you get the chance to get a quote. And that used to be the worst part of my day, honestly. I would go marketing, and you'd be tired when you came back, and the last thing you want to do was sit down and make a quote off a spreadsheet or something else and get that and send it to them and then hope they call you. You know, that's where you are left at most of the time with a quote. You hand them the quote and you go, well, call me if you need anything, and that's where you're left at. So with Easy Order, I wanted it to be super easy and super quick to create a quote in seconds rather than in 15, 20 minutes for each quote. And that just alleviates you, again, of stress and time and pressure it takes on you to do all these quotes. You can do them really easily. You can get back to the customer in a very quick manner, even the same day. So to start a quote, I'm going to click on New. And this is just like creating an order form, but it's much less steps. Because, as you go out, as you guys know, when you go out and try to get business, you may not get much from the customer. You may just get their business card with one of their printers written on the back, and that's all you get. But you can come into the system, and the only thing that's required are these 2 blue fields. And I also feel like the email should be required, but it's not, because some people like to print out their quotes and hand deliver. But you need a company name and you need a contact name. So I'm going to call this Jackson Attorney Law. Lawyers, great customer. They print loads of stuff. Again, talk about targeting customers, going after CPAs, attorneys. Those are the kind of customers you need. So Jackson Attorney at Law, and this is, Bill Jackson. And again, I always put, I'll put my email address in here, but you always need their email address, I feel, in this scenario. So that's all you need to start a quote. None of this other stuff really matters. If you want to add an item to the quote, you take that printer that you got from them and you go, brother, printer, MFC, and that'll come up with one that you want to put on the quote. You come in here and you select the sign, magenta, yellow, black. Save that to the quote. There's all the items. You price it how you want to price for the customer. Again, it's per customer per order form. So just like the order forms are, you can have different pricing for each customer on your quotes. And another thing about this is, using the quote system, it logs all this information. So it's not like you sent an Excel sheet off to somebody and then now you have to keep that in a folder. So if you want to reference it again, you can find that and then figure out what you quoted them. It's all going to be in this one system. So orders will be there. You can, if there's a problem with an order, you can look up the order. If there's a issue with the quote and they come back to you 30 days later and you didn't know what you quoted them, it'll all be saved in the system. So that's another reason to use a system for your quotes and orders. It just keeps everything all in one place. So I'm going to click save. Just imagine those are great prices, and I'm going to preview this quote. So you saw it only took me a few minutes to put this quote together, and look how great this quote looks. It has the Cartridge World brand on it. Here's the date, here's the customer's name, here's all your information, here's kind of our general disclaimer that's 100% guaranteed, and all this is going to be awesome. Here's the printer that we quoted, these are the cartridges, here's the retail price, here's your price, here's what you're saving per cartridge. And so if you order from these products from us today, you're going to save $84.30. And then there's also this advanced quote template where you can put annual orders. So let's say they're going to order this 3 times a year, and I save that and I preview it. There's also a way to extrapolate that based off 3 orders per year. Annual savings will be much more, and so you really can project that much larger savings number, especially when you have multiple items on this quote. You can really show them how much they're going to be saving over the course of the year. So that's really important. The other thing that is really unique about our quoting system, which is, I feel, it really puts the slam dunk into quoting, is that, like I said before, when you send a quote to somebody, all you really get a chance to do is say, okay, here's the quote, and if you next time you need a cartridge, let me know. And that's a weak position to be in as a salesperson. A weak position to say, well, you remember my name or my contact information, or keep this quote handy, and you can get back to me. So that's why I really want you guys to email these quotes, as well as if you want to hand deliver it, you can, but email them as well. Because when you email them, this quote can turn from a flat PDF. It says, don't forget, you can place an order right from this quote. click Show Order Form to create your online order form. And we have a button that says Show Order Form. Now, the link is disabled in the preview mode that I'm in, but if the customer was to get this and click on this Show Order Form button, it would essentially take this quote and instantly translate it into an order form. So it's just like they clicked on that Show Order Form button, and now they're looking at this from your quote. So they're looking at their own online ordering form from the minute that they click on that button, and you just tell them, hey, if you need anything, do you need anything today? And that's a powerful statement. Ask for the sale. You know, you can say, they can say yes or they can say no. If they say no, go, well, let me show you how to order for me. All you have to do is put quantities in here and click Review Order. Just put 1 in here, Review Order, and then, you know, I'll put for my employees, I'll just put, you know, testing order form, and you submit the order. And so that's all it takes to order from us. And so now you go from the opportunity to look at this quote to clicking on Show Order Form. They're looking at their order form, and once they do that, they get sent a welcome email. And remember, that welcome email had, you know, everything they needed to download the icon and get back to their order form. So once they click on that, they have this button. You can tell them, hey, watch this video, and then click on that, and you can download your icon for Cartridge World. And when you want to get back to this quote, all you have to do is click on this, and not only can you get back to the quote, you can order from me. And so now you've taken a customer from, you know, a potential customer who may or may not buy from you, to now they have an order form on your system, you've shown them how to order from you, and you've put the icon on their desktop. Now that's a powerful stance to leave your customer with, because now you're connected to them, they know how to order from you, there's no questioning what is the next step. You bet the next time that they need cartridges, somebody says, hey, I need a cartridge for this, they go, you know what, I remember I have this set up, so I'm going to click on that icon and I'm going to order through that system. And so once we started implementing the icon, the button on the quote, quotes conversions went up 30% from what they were. They were at about 3%, and now they're resting at like 10%. So it's really powerful to use the system in the way we sort of show you how to use it, because this is the proven method that we've come up with that actually will get the customer engaged with you. It'll get them to where they know what you're offering, they have a way to order from you, and there's no mistaking what the next step is. They just have that icon on their desktop, they're connected to you. Now, you won't be able to do that with every customer, but each customer that you can get that far with, you're in a much more powerful position from the quote process to get that to the customer. And you saw it only took 5 minutes to set this quote up. I mean, nothing at all. And so compared to probably what you're doing or how much time you're spending on quotes, you know, looking up stuff, typing model numbers in, this really gets it done in a really quick way and takes that burden of having to spend all this time doing quotes, because time is money and you guys do everything, you know, many hats you guys wear. And so you can do anything that helps speed it up or helps take some of this burden off you to remember all this stuff, you know, have the system that really will work for you. So I'll go back into the system now. We talked about quotes. So any questions on that before I move on?
Yes, I have a question.
Sure.
Retail price, how often is that updated?
We update it every week from Staples for about 85% of what is in our system. A lot of the stuff that we have in our system is copier-driven stuff, like Kyocera Mita, and Staples doesn't sell that. And so if it's something like that, we only update that if somebody tells us, hey, there's been a big change in Kyocera Mita, then we'll go research it and update it. But every week we're giving you up-to-date retail prices for the Brothers, the Canons, the Lexmarks, the HPs, the Xerox, all that stuff. If they sell it at Staples, we give you the most up-to-date retail price, and we do that once a week. And that's just, again, so you guys don't have to worry about it. One thing that we do have that kind of works with that is under managed product data. People tell me all the time in their Cartridge World stores, they have this quick product lookup just open on a computer near the register. And what this is basically our cartridge search. And what this will do is once you get a lot of your pricing in here, your price will be tied to the items. So you can just quickly look up, somebody tells you their printer or their cartridge, and you look it up, your price is in there, you can tell them your price in just like a second. You don't have to go look at Office Depot or Staples or anybody else to figure out what you need to charge them. Your prices are in here, the retail prices are up to date, And a lot of people just leave this open on one of their open computers so the employees can look up what goes with what. And even if you don't have your pricing in here, they can still look up what goes with what in your system, so you're not having to use an external thing. It says Cartridge World, so if you're doing this right in front of them, it doesn't look like you got to hide your monitor and go to Staples real quick. You're doing it in a Cartridge World system, so it doesn't look like anything different. It looks like you're looking up the product. So that's there. Talking about other things, other ways that the system helps you kind of market your business. We have a couple different things under marketing tools. One is email marketing. You can export a list of your customers in Easy Order and then put it into Constant Contact and do a promotion and run that promotion and send that out to all your customers that are using Easy Order. For people who aren't using Easy Order, you can send them a newsletter and say, hey, and by the way, this is a really great website to write down. It's not really prevalent in any of our marketing materials, but CartridgeWorldDemo.com, that shouldn't be hard to remember. But CartridgeWorldDemo.com is a way for you to sell Easy Order to your customers. You don't have to do it. You just show them this video. So it's a professionally voiced over, video that shows the customer what you have to offer with Easy Order, the icon, why it's important, why you value their time, why you wanted to make this easy for them. And it goes through the whole, ordering process and shows every step of the way what they're expecting and why you're giving this service to them. So CartridgeWorldDemo.com is a great URL to have in your back pocket. A lot of my Cartridge Worlds put that in their email signature. They'll put, here's our online ordering system, watch this video, and then ask me how to get your free account. And so the customer can, say, hey, I'm interested in that. And then you can go in and I'll show you, remember that worksheet I was talking to you guys about earlier? Sorry, I'm kind of logged in and logged out. But under our download section here, it says start here customer files. We have this printer worksheet and it's a PDF and you just download it. And then when you open it up, it's a digital PDF, so you can type in it. And so the customer doesn't have to scan this or write in it and scan it and send it back to you. That's a pain. We wanted to make it easy for them. So they just type in the fields and then they can put, their printer identification. Whose printer is this? Bob's printer, office copier. What's the make and model? HP Color LaserJet 2600. What department is this? And accounting, administration, whatever. And they can just type in this, save it, send it back to you, and then you have everything you need to set your customer up. Some Cartridge Worlds keep this by their register for people who come in. And, again, you can use this for B2B, but don't think of it as only that. You can also use it for your walk-in customers who order one ink or toner cartridge from you. You can use Easy Order as an early alert system. So, cartridges never run out, before you close. They always run out at 9 at night, or your kid's doing a project, it's, after dinner, and then all the ink runs out and it's printing weird. And that's when they want to order it so that you can, have one ready for them in the morning. They don't want to go, okay, you have to call them first thing in the morning, order the cartridge, then I'm going to go pick it up. If you keep your walk-in customers on Easy Order, you can just put the one cartridge on there and give them the desktop icon, and then they can, when the ink runs out at 9 at night, they just click on their icon, they order a yellow cartridge, and they'll come pick it up in the morning, and you'll have it ready for them because you'll have already been alerted that they have it. Or if there's a problem and you don't have it, before they drive in and get mad because they drove all the way to you and you didn't have it in stock, you can let them know, hey, I don't have this in stock. It'll be ready in a day. I can ship it to you if you want, that sort of thing. And so, having it for all your customers is, an option as well. So a lot of people leave these up at their front, just print them out, have the customers fill them out. So that's the customer printer worksheet. That's how one of those tools that I was talking about to help you out. Also under marketing tools, we have another feature where, I was talking about let the system do the work for you so that you can, how many times have you missed a follow-up because you just had too many things going on and, you didn't follow up with the customer in time, and then you may have lost that business. Well, now we have ways for the system to send emails out on your behalf in different scenarios, and you choose whether or not you want these to happen. First of all, there's a thank you message, and you can customize this to say whatever you want to. We also have a first order message, and you can, these are no by default, but you can enable them if you want to. after they place their order. It says welcome aboard, and it says a little bit of information about your company. There's a quote follow-up. Now these two next ones are the real important ones. A quote follow-up. If the customer hasn't ordered from you in 30 days after you sending them a quote, it'll send them another email. It'll follow up for you on the quote process. I say, thank you for completing your quote with us. We want to save you money, and service all your printing needs. If you still own printers or supplies, click the show order form button at the bottom of the quote we had sent you, and you can, log into your order form or click here and they can request a new quote. So it gives them a way to, oh yeah, I forgot about them. I didn't order from that, but maybe I'd like a new quote, or maybe I'll click on my show order form button and see what that order form's all about. And so it lets the system do this follow-up for you, so you don't have to. I wish I had this when I was doing my business, because I know I lost, business from just not following up in the properly, times for people who I quoted and then they didn't respond. I just never tried again. Sometimes it takes 2 or 3 times to get the customer to buy from you. Order frequency is another one. If a customer is already established and they've already bought, but then they don't buy again, and their order frequency email time hits, so that 90 days that I was put in the first customer, normally you would have to follow up. We would send you a message, and then you would have to follow up with the customer and say, hey, we haven't heard from you in a long time. And so with this, it actually sends this message. It says, we miss you. How can we help? Again, you can customize this and change it and put whatever you want in here. But it says, we miss you. How can we help? Thank you for your first online order with us. Is there anything else we can help you with? We're here. One of our reps will be in contact with you shortly to make sure that you're good. So it lets them know that you're going to be following up with them. So when you call them, they're not surprised that you called them. And again, this is the system following up for you. So again, where I say this will be your best employee, because it's doing a lot of the heavy lifting that you have to do as an owner, but it's doing it just automatically for you in the background if you have these settings set up correctly. So it can really help you kind of keep track of everything. Speaking of keep track, well, I'll finish this section out before I go to that. Order frequency, you may want to know a report of when your customers, how many have never ordered from me that have been on the system, who's ordered in the last 30 days, who's ordered in the last 31 to 90 days, and so on. And so we have reports that'll show you, who's been ordering from you, who's not been ordering from you. So you take a look at that all at once and see. This is a new thing that we just did on our last update. We give you a QR code, and that's you can right-click and save that image, and that image can be used in any kind of printed materials that you send out. So if it's a postcard or if it's something like that, and you want them to be able to scan a code and have that take you to where they can sign up for their Easy Order account and on their own, you can absolutely put that on there, and then they can sign up for their own Easy Order account. What I mean by that, signing up for their own Easy Order account, is as a Cartridge World, you have a couple pages. Well, let me go to a landing page. USA.com. Okay, so every Cartridge World has their landing page, right? And on the landing page of Cartridge World, if you have Easy Order, you have much more functionality than if you don't have Easy Order. I'm going to go to Cartridge World's Austin's page. First off, you're going to have these 5 pages of SEO stuff. This will all rank you for search engine stuff. But the most important part, and we're going to redesign this page a little bit, because some of the buttons need to be moved up a little bit. I feel these are a little buried in the system, and we want them more up here. But if you notice, the request a quote button for right here is gone. The one that normally you would fill out a form and then it would send you an email, that's gone, because now you have the My CW Quote and the My CW Login buttons. And so it's only for people with Easy Order. My CW Quote, if you click on it, it's going to take them to this page. The customer themselves, without talking to you, can fill out this information. And when they fill out this information, I'll put some basic information here I've done before. I got to do a different email address. email@.com and their phone number. Now, this doesn't seem like a lot of information to start a quote, so we did this on purpose, because we don't want the customer to see a whole bunch of fields and go, oh, I don't want to do that. We wanted to make it really easy to get started. And so this is also a lead capture. So when you click Get It Started, it takes them to say, okay, add your items. So do you want to add items by printer or by cartridge? If you select by printer, you do again the same kind of setup that we had. You can select HP. You can type in 2600. Click go. It shows you the printers here. I'm going to choose that one. I'm going to click save. Here are all the items on my quote, and then I'll send the quote through. So this is the customer doing all this. You're not doing any of this. When you click send, it sends the quote through, and then basically there's buttons in the back end where you can say, hey, I offer different services like buying or leasing new copiers of printers, managed print service, repairs, maintenance, recycling programs. They can also check stuff like this and send you information that they're interested in, that kind of stuff. But the quote's done at this point. And so when I go back into the system and I go back to quotes, boom, here's the quote right here that just came through. So already it's a lead capture. So you have the company name, you have the contact name, you have their phone number, and you have their email address. That's the things we ask for. So even if they don't put anything on the quote and they just start by sending you this stuff and you get a quote with no printers on it, that's still better than nothing, because you're getting this customer's hot contact information that did want a quote from you. And they just either, it was lunchtime and they didn't know what printers they had, or they need to go gather that, or however many of the million reasons they would not do that. Sometimes it'll come in with nothing, but you'll still get their contact information. So this is good lead capture. And you can call them back up and say, hey, Joe, I noticed that you and your coffee company contacted us and wanted a quote. Can I help you finish it? Just let me know what printers you have, and I'll go back in and put them on your quote and send it back to you. So it's a great way to capture leads directly from your landing page by having Easy Order on your landing page. The other button here is My CW Login. And this is basically for returning customers. They can log in here. New customers can click register, and then they can register for their account without talking to you. So again, if they just want to skip the quote process and get an order form and order from you, they can do that as well. We have the Cartridge World demo video on here too, so customers can watch that as well. So that's the power of your landing pages is having these buttons on here. And again, we're going to get them more front and center. When they redesigned this page. This was designed by Tom McLaughlin and crew, and now that Alan's working with us, he's going to do something to help us get the buttons more prevalent once they redesign these pages. But right now they're on anybody who has an Easy Order account, and you get these two buttons, and you're good to go. Talking about the future, having an Easy Order account is also going to be imperative to do things like the National Business Program. Cartridge World, I'm sure you've probably heard about this before. Cartridge World is now going after national business customers that have locations all over the country, and they have just worked with us to create a whole system to handle these large customers, to where, let's say McDonald's comes on and they want to give the McDonald's corporate a link, and from that link, they just say, click on this link and buy from Cartridge World. And when they click on that link, it's going to take them to a national business account, Cartridge World account, and then based off who they've decided to assign to this customer, they'll probably assign certain Cartridge Worlds to different customers to kind of spread it around, that they'll be able to handle this large national business. And you can't be part of the program unless you have an Easy Order account. So it's going to be imperative that you not only have one, but that you use it, and you also understand how to get orders from it and how to maintain it and things like that. Because if not, you're going to be left out of this program, because it's a requirement to have an Easy Order account to take part in this business. So the future is going to be, definitely to be taking part in a lot of cool things. You're going to have your Easy Order account and be proficient with it. So that's one of the new things that we've just kind of launched this week. But you do get a lot of stuff on your landing page when you're using Easy Order. Any questions on anything I've gone over? I don't want to overwhelm you, and I've kind of gone past my hour. So if you guys have any questions, I'll open up for Q&A. And there's a lot more to go over, but I would say that anybody who doesn't have an account, or even if you do, if you want a one-on-one session with me, just get with me anytime. Obviously next week everybody's out for the holiday, but after that, and we can do a one-on-one training. You can ask specific questions. I can work with you on specific customers that you may be trying to get into the system. Whatever it is, we're here to help. We consider ourselves your sales partner, not just your software vendor. We really do help you get in there and get your customers in here and get them using it, and then help you with new ways to market your business. Any questions on anything?
Is it global?
Yes. One of our most successful customers is in Australia, and they do probably 200,000 a month through the system. They're in Perth, so they're over on the other side. But yeah, it's global. Easy Order set up to be. We actually have a different database for Australia and UK for the products. So there's different products in that region. We've been running in Australia now for probably 7 years. We have at least 2 Cartridge Worlds in Australia using it right now. So it's absolutely global.
Who are these Australian stores?
I can, hold on, let me. Let's see here. Jamie Furman and Cartridge World of Lower Hutt.
That's New Zealand.
Ah, that's New Zealand. Okay. Well, okay, then one in New Zealand and one in Australia. We just had Terry Helm on.
Yeah, he's a Kiwi.
Yeah, but he just canceled his account. So, yeah. And at one point we had Marianne Spark on.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's definitely ready to go. Also, if you're talking about global and other parts of the world, we do have it set with different languages. So we have it in French, Dutch, and Spanish. There's some work to be done if we start using those in those areas, just because we've developed a lot since we have done the translations. So there probably don't need a lot of translations done on that, but it is ready for global use.
You get the prices from Staples here. Do you know where you get them off in Australia?
In Australia, the database is maintained by my big customer that is doing the big sales out there in Perth. They kind of help us with the database, so they update pricing and they send us new cartridges that come out, and they help us maintain the Australian database. It's definitely not as tight as our U.S. database is, and we don't have a Staples scraper that goes out for Australia at this point, just because we only have, like I said, the 2 customers, well, 3, including our larger one, in Australia and New Zealand. And so if we were to get more business out there, I could see us spending more time to get something like the Staples scraper in place for that region, and then also kind of tightening up that database just a little bit.
Yeah, they currently get their Cartridge World off their prices off Officeworks.
Yeah, and that's why we definitely would have to check out a different source to do that for a different region. But right now, the way it is, it's just kind of being maintained by the group that's using it, and they use it a lot. So if something new comes out, they add it, and they're kind of our ear to the ground over there.
Okay.
Anything else? Well, like I said, I know you guys have been training and doing all this for this week, but for anybody who doesn't have an Easy Order account, I know that a few of you signed up for the demo. So you just signed up for the actual demo part on RemanResource.com. I saw like 3 things come in that were for request a demo. But what you guys really need to do is click on the 30-day free trial, because what this is going to do is with the demo, you're just asking for what I just gave you, which is the demo. So for an account, which we want you to have an account to play with it, to do a couple quotes with it, put a couple customers on it, see how they like it. We give you 30 days free to just try it out and see if you like it. And so this being such an integral part of Cartridge World's moves going forward, I would definitely recommend that you also click on the 30-day free trial, fill this other information out. We do take credit card at the time of signing up, but your credit card will not be charged until you've verbally confirmed with me that you're ready to go. It's not like on 30 days I charge that card and then you're done. It's like I'll put you on like trial mode, and then once I speak to you and you say, yes, Kat, I'm comfortable, I'm ready to go, will then put you in billing, but we don't just automatically charge you. But we do have to have that on file just to create the account. And then you can actually play with the account, use it, for your customers, really try it out, see how they respond, and then get more familiar with it. And then pricing, just so you guys know, you have an incredible deal on pricing. Our normal rate is $99 a month for non-Cartridge Worlds for independents. And that actually is on a sliding scale. So depending on how much business they do for the system, they can pay up to $250 a month. So there are independents paying us, between $99 and $250 a month to use the system. And for you guys, you get a 30% discount off our $99, so it's $70 a month. And wait, there's more. Even better, Cartridge World pays for half of your account through the national marketing budget. And so that puts your out-of-pocket expense to use EasyOrder at just $35 a month. I mean, that is nothing for you to have all the features and tools and the system that I just showed you. I mean, for less than a cup of coffee a day, and I'm talking a cheap cup of coffee, not a Starbucks cup of coffee, you could have this system. And I guarantee you this is the most effective marketing money you could spend on your business, is to have a system like this that can handle your customers, keep everything organized, everything's in one place, use it for marketing, use it for maintaining, and for $35 a month, it's just a no-brainer, I think. Cartridge World. Oh man, I can't type. I cut my hand yesterday, so it's really hard to type. WorldEasyOrder.com. I spelled cartridge wrong. CartridgeWorldEasyOrder.com is a page if you want to get some testimonials from other people. If you don't believe me, you can talk to or hear from Ted Eastling, Brooks Conkle, John Applegate. They all talk about how they effectively use EasyOrder and how it's integral to their business. We have a training video if you want to go back over kind of the training. CartridgeWorldEasyOrder.com has the training video. We also have some basic statistics. This is 2017 sales. You can see sales have been going up every year. 4.9 million in 2005, 5.5 in 2016. In 2016, just quarter three, we're on track at $6.3 million, and we still got a quarter left to go. So year-to-date 2017, $700,000 in increased sales by using EasyOrder. Year-to-date orders, 21,000 orders plus have been processed through the system just for this year. The average order for every Cartridge World, the average order is $293.75. So that tells you, you're $35 a month. I mean, the average order is almost $300. And since inception, we've processed $42 million worth of orders through EasyOrder for Cartridge World. So that's why, this $35 a month, it's just kind of the best money for the best ROI for the money for sure that you could spend. So go ahead and go to Reman Resource, click on sign up for your full account to get access to your account. You get access the minute you sign up. And then from there, you can start using it on your customers. You don't have to do it until you get back and you're really ready to do it. But we definitely, Cartridge World wants to make this a priority for you guys, which is why they bring me here to these trainings to make sure that you guys know about the system so that you're really using this tool to its fullest. So if you don't have any more questions, that's the long and short of my presentation. There's lots more. We have a weekly webinar every Wednesday at 10 a.m. I can send Renzo the link to that. So if you're interested in it, you can all sign up and then just come to our weekly webinar. So as you're getting used to the system, we're talking about stuff. You're hearing about problems and issues that other Cartridge Worlds are facing, and we kind of deal with them all together. And we kind of touch base once a week, if you need it, and make sure we're there for you. All right, well, thank you guys for your time. I appreciate it. I hope nobody's asleep by now and you got something from this.
Oh. Yes, we got, it's good. It was very good, actually.
All right, man.
Any questions?
Do you have to be part of the National Account Program to get it for the $35 a month?
Would you repeat that, Renzo? I couldn't hear as well.
Do you have to, I kind of already answered her. Do you have to be part of the National Account Program to get that rate at $35 a month?
No. That you just have to be a Cartridge World to get that rate?
Yes.
Cartridge World North America, I would say.
Hey, easy. I have a few masters down in South America.
Testimonials website.
What is that?
It's
Go ahead.
CartridgeWorldEasyOrder.com. And this is the page I'm on right now. We have good testimonials from, at least 6 Cartridge World owners that just talk about how it's integral for their business and it's really, set them apart from their competition.
Anything else that you guys want to ask? Questions? Answers? No? All right, Kat, I think that's it.
Okay, guys. Well, have a good rest of your week with your training and have a happy Thanksgiving. I hope to hear from some of you soon. If you have questions for me, don't hesitate to go to RemanResource.com. Look up our numbers, give us a call, or send an email to support@RemanResource.com, and we'll answer any questions you have. If you want a one-on-one training, we can do that too. Have a good week, and I'll speak to you all soon.
All right, man. Thanks a lot.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye.